Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. My name is BrendenPlayz. Big show today because this is the show before the Battleground PPV. So we're going to chat a little bit about Battleground and a few of the matches involved. But the first question you're probably wondering is, when is the next Universe Mode episode? It will be out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be big. It is the draft episode. It is going to be awesome, so make sure you check it out. It should be out sometime tomorrow, hopefully. I feel as though I'm going to be getting pretty sick, though. I've got a sore throat, so I think a cold may be on the way for me, so maybe getting sick. So hopefully I can pump it out before I do get sick, if in fact I do. So let's hope that does not happen. So, anyways, first question today comes from Steam. Who do you think will win this match, Chris Jericho vs. Bray Wyatt? Well, I have said this over the past few weeks. I went on a podcast a few days ago on Ian Hansen Wrestling's channel. I said, look, I believe that Chris Jericho is going to win this one. I know everyone else is probably thinking Bray Wyatt's going to win it. Jericho's just here to put Bray Wyatt over there. But hear me out. I think Jericho's going to win the first one, not clean. I think he's going to win this one by DQ, which will allow this feud to continue. Give a reason for another match. Because if Bray Wyatt wins Jericho clean, what's the point of continuing the feud? And obviously this feud is going to go until Night of Champions, we would assume. You know, we believe this is Jericho's only feud he's going to have whilst coming back, and I think this is a big feud for Bray Wyatt. So I think Jericho will win the first one. Otherwise, his return is kind of pointless, and it gives him zero credibility. You know, if he loses against Bray Wyatt straight away, it's going to do nothing for either of the two guys. So Jericho to win the first one, probably by disqualification. I can imagine Harper and Rowan getting involved somehow. Bray Wyatt just about to lose, so the other two guys get involved some way, or I don't know. Something will happen that will cause a disqualification, and Jericho will win the match, but probably get his ass kicked after the match to cause Jericho to want to get his revenge against the Wyatts. Mihail wants to know, who do you think should win the Fatal 4-Way match at Battleground? Well, I think it should be John Cena, not because I really want him to win, but I want to see John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, which is the rumored match for Summerslam. So if that does happen, I'll be over the moon, because I've been wanting to see the rematch for a long time. I really loved their Extreme Rules match at 2012. I thought that was probably one of my favorite matches that I've seen in the last, 5 or 6 years, to be honest with you. Since I came back to the WWE and started watching again in 2012, that's probably one, if not my second favorite match. My other one being CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. So, big Brock Lesnar fan, so I want to see Lesnar versus Cena again. And that's going to be a very good drawing card for SummerSlam. Roman Reigns isn't ready yet. I think his time will come around WrestleMania when he gets the big moment. Similar to Daniel Bryan, but Reigns being his first title victory. Kane's too old. He's had it. And Randy Orton just had the belts. He doesn't need it. Nobody wants to see him as champion. And it'll just be 3 steps even further back. I said John Cena was 3 steps back. Well, Randy Orton is 3 steps even further back. So giving Cena the belt, keeping him the belt, and then losing it to Lesnar would be best for business. Quinton073 wants to know, do you think Saturday Morning Slam will return? And what kind of role would it have? No, I do not think it's going to return. I don't even know what the hell the point of that show was. I think I may have checked out one clip of the show just to see what it was all about. And it's just a kids show, really. It's just a show that they put on for the kids in the morning. All the baby faces win. There's really no point to the show. Nobody over the age of 10 would watch the show. So it can't have done that well because they're not rushing to get it done. And honestly, the WWE has that many shows already. They don't need another one. I think WWE needs to drop Superstars, because honestly, who the fuck cares about Superstars? Nobody is going to watch. There's no point in watching Superstars. If they want to do a budget cut, this is the way to do it. Cut Superstars. You'll cut a lot of costs and expenses and a lot of time and wasted effort right there and then. I know you want to try and get everyone on the roster a match, but 2 matches on Superstars does nothing for nobody. So nobody even watches that show. So they've got enough shows as it is. Keep Raw, Main Event, and SmackDown. I think that'll be a great setup, in my opinion. No more shows, please. Alessandro1600 wants to know, do you think Sting will get a title shot in his first few weeks? I'm just going to answer this one quickly. No, Sting will never get a title shot if he even wrestles in the WWE. He will never, ever see the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, ever. he's never getting a championship match. In fact, I don't even know if he'll even get a match, let alone a title match. AJ89123. He wants to know, what is your favorite finisher of all time? Well, that's a tough one, because there's a lot of fantastic finishes over the years. But when you think about it, though, what finisher really kind of stands out as a finisher that you can believe, a finisher that always ends the matches in most circumstances? And that, to me, is the Tombstone pile driver from The Undertaker specifically. When he hits that tombstone, you know that match is going to end, and that's pretty awesome in my opinion. Very, very rarely does that tombstone get kicked out from. Another one I really love is the spear. I think mainly from Goldberg, his spear was just absolutely brutal. I love the Batista bomb. I really like power bombs. My favorite move in wrestling is probably the gut wrench power bomb, but it's not really used as a finisher all that much. So I really love the gut wrench power bomb. I think it's just a cool move. Looks cool. Difficult to do and execute well, in my opinion. I think Jack Swagger uses it a lot, so that's probably the only reason that I would ever like Jack Swagger, is because he uses the gut wrench. But probably the Tombstone, because when you think about it, the Tombstone, it truly is a finisher. It always ends the matches. Ryan Infinite, do you think the Kofi E team, he means Kofi and Big E, will stay and contend for the tag titles? Well, actually, I would like to see those two guys be a tag team. It seems as though they may be going in that direction. WWE needs some tag teams. Kofi Kingston and Big E, they're not doing anything, and let's face it, not to be racist or anything like that, they're two black guys. Kind of works. So, but when you think about it, Big E's the muscle. He's the big guy. He's got the power. Kofi Kingston's the high flyer, can do all the flashy, cool looking moves. We see the powerhouse high flyer tag team all the time. I mean, it works, and I think it could work for both of these guys. Let's face it, Kofi Kingston's career is practically done. Big E hasn't been doing anything since he lost the Intercontinental Championship, and it's not looking good for him either. So I think, and especially with this whole preaching bullshit he's been doing recently, God, it's terrible. So Big E and Kofi, they need this, in my opinion. So throw them together as a tag team and let them go. Let them see how they go. And who knows, they could be something decent, in my opinion. I think I certainly would be down to see it. I'm keen to see it. So if they stick around together, I think tag titles could be in their future. Pretty much only because there's a lack of tag teams at the moment. But who knows? They could be the next big tag team. You never know. Speaking of another tag team guy, Barely14, does Ryback need a push, and should he leave Axel and get big in the singles division like Reigns? Well, Reigns is on the screen. How convenient. I think Ryback, when he was doing the Feed Me More thing, it was just really interesting. It was amazing to see how well he was doing it. And Ryback, I think, has the potential to be a main event guy. I don't know what happened with him in late 2012, but ever since he lost his first match against CM Punk, he was practically done from there on. It was a huge mistake putting him in that title match. It was way too soon for him, and that's why I don't want to see Roman Reigns get in that situation, because it's too soon for some of these guys, and it ruined Ryback. They should never have turned him heel to face Cena, and Cena just destroyed him. Cena, he killed Ryback right there and then. John Cena, he killed another career, to be honest with you. You know, added to the list. As soon as Ryback and Cena met, it was all over. It was done. Ryback's one of my favorites. I like Ryback. I like the big guy gimmick. When he was bullying everybody backstage, I thought that was hilarious. But I do like the Ryback's tag team. I like the big guy and the little guy. I like Ryback, and I think, in my honest opinion, they could be tag team champions. I felt as though they have what it takes, because you see their backstage skits. They're funny. They're great. They just got to show that personality on screen. They just got to be able to be given that screen time. And I know a lot of people don't like Ryback because he can't wrestle a house down, because he's not a fucking technical wrestler like everyone else. But Ryback can be something special. I mean, he will probably sell more tickets than a lot more of these smaller guys. Because let's face it, Ryback, you can believe that he can kick someone's ass. Look at the size of the guy. He is the big guy. And I think a singles push will happen again for him one day. I think Ryback, if he sticks around and he stays somewhat relevant, he could see himself getting pushed again. And you know, it's pretty simple though, because Ryback, you know, because he's got the size, because he's got the look, you can believe that he can beat anybody up. So that's really what is working in his favor right now. So who knows? I think the Axel and Ryback tag team though should stick around for a little longer, see how it goes, give them an opportunity on the pay-per-view to have decent matches instead of versing what is it, Stardust and Goldust every fucking week. Moving them away from those two guys, and who knows, the big guy could be seeing some tag team gold in the future. I hope so. I really want to see Ryback succeed, in my opinion. Bailey14's got another one for me. He wants to know, I know it's a little early, but what are your SummerSlam card predictions, and who are the winners of the matches? Well, from what I can gather, this is going to be the big three matches on the card. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar will beat John Cena, get his win back. The only problem that I have with Brock Lesnar winning is, will he be sticking around? How long is he going to wrestle for? Is he going to have one match and go away? What's the situation there? I have no idea. So, if Brock Lesnar wins and sticks around till WrestleMania, my God, business is going to do well. I think the WWE, they may be throwing the money at Lesnar to make him do that, because I think, quite frankly, they may need him, you know, to really boost up this roster for the time being, get these network subscriptions. So, I can see that happening. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. I know a lot of people think it's going to be Reigns and Triple H. No, I don't think that's going to happen. They haven't really planted enough seeds to really entice a Reigns versus Triple H feud just quite yet. And I think Randy Orton and Reigns makes more sense right now. I think it'll work pretty well, and we'll probably see those two guys battle it out at Battleground and probably take each other out in the match or something like that at Fatal 4-Way. So we'll have to wait and see. But who else? Well, Jericho and Bray Wyatt again. I can see that happening. I think the Usos and the Wyatts will have their third matchup. I think the Wyatts are going to win the belts at Battleground, and then they'll have their return match. The Usos will have their return match at SummerSlam, where the Wyatts will beat them again. AJ and Paige, I can see that happening again. Maybe a triple threat match. Add Naomi into the mix as well. I can see that happening. Rumors there is going to be Rusev and Big Show. I think it might be Rusev and Sheamus. I think Rusev being US champion would make a lot of sense, and perhaps you could even see him turn it into the Russian championship. Man, that would get some pretty decent heat, in my opinion. I think that makes a lot of sense storyline. So, Rusev and Sheamus, I think that would be a pretty sweet match as well. A real big brawl. I think that would be pretty freaking cool. So, we'll probably get Ryback versus Cody Rhodes. What is he fucking? Stardust and Goldust again for the 6th time on pay-per-view or whatever the hell it is. And probably a couple more squash matches that nobody gives a fuck about. Probably Adam Rose versus Great Khali or something. I don't know. I don't care. But there's the big 3 matches, and the Usos and the Wyatts. That's going to be a given, I think. So that's probably my predictions right now. You know, as the WWE, anything can happen, and I think the one match out of the mid card I'd love to see, like I said, was Sheamus and Rusev. I think they should really consider doing that. And consider doing it. And of course, there's going to be an Intercontinental Championship match as well. I think Cesaro's going to win the Battle Royal, by the way. And by the way, I'm going to have a full prediction videos for Battleground over my Brendan Sims channel. Link to that up in the description down below. So if you want to hear my full thoughts on all the matches at Battleground, you can go do that on the other channel. That'll be up over in the next few days. So expect to see those videos pop up. Gamer9912, who is your favorite superstar? Mine is CM Punk. Well, CM Punk actually used to be my favorite superstar, but he walked out. So my favorite superstar right now would have to be Roman Reigns. It's no secret, I prefer big muscle, jacked up dudes rather than, you know, 100-pound, 200 pounds. Sorry, I'll give them a bit of credit. High flying technical guys. CM Punk was the exception because he was just phenomenal on the mic. But yeah, Roman Reigns, I know he can't talk or whatever, but he just has that presence, just has that look, just has that badass feel about him, that he's just cool. And he's someone that you can get behind, he's someone you can support, and I'm rooting for him, man. I hope he does win the belt at WrestleMania 31, has his big moment, and I think he's going to make a great face of the company in the future. Well, today's final question is probably going to be a very, very short one. It's from Viral Jamal. Do you like and watch the TNA product? To be honest with you, I don't think I've watched the TNA episode this year. The answer is no. I don't watch and I don't like TNA. I did actually try to get into TNA, and it all came about when I watched Slammiversary 2012, which was a fucking fantastic pay-per-view. It was the first TNA pay-per-view I'd ever watched, and it was amazing. It blew me away. Probably one of my favorite pay-per-views I've watched in quite some time. That pay-per-view was amazing, and I watched that, and I was like, wow, I got to give TNA a go. Let's give them a try, and they were okay. They were decent. They didn't really want to make me tune in every week. I tried to tune in every week. Then it became every second week. Then it became, you know, maybe once a month. Then it just became, well, fuck it. So I lost interest, and I've been watching what they were doing. I mean, Eric Young was a freaking champion, for God's sake. So it's difficult to support TNA at the moment. I wish them all the best, but man, I can't see TNA around for another 2 or 3 years, to be honest with you. I think they're going to fold eventually, and the time is coming. So when Angle leaves, and probably Hardy will follow one day soon, that'll be the end of TNA, man. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. If you want to leave your questions, make sure you leave them in the comments section down below, or over at my forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums. Of course, that's where you're seeing all these other little posts you are seeing. They're over at the forums, so there's a big thread up over the forums that you can go and post your questions up, and I'll go and check them out. So make sure you leave your questions for next week's episode. We also hit 100 members on the forums as well, so that's a fantastic milestone. 7,000 subscribers, over 1 million total views as well. So a lot of milestones we hit over the past week, and pretty much all due to the success of WrestleMania 30 on the Universe mode. So if you're new to the series, new to the channel I should say, thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. So make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next Tuesday.